Greetings, my rare hunters. It is I, MariK. Welcome back to another Dragon Ball Super deck profile. This time we got my buddy Ryan here. He's another member of the God Squad with his Dr Myuu deck. He has played this pretty consistently during tournaments, getting as far as top 2, only losing to Mecha Apes in that top 2 tournament. The deck flows pretty well. But Ryan, of course, can explain it to you better than I can. I've never played the deck myself. Even though it is essentially gadgets from Yu-Gi-Oh! That is also an archetype I did not touch during my Yu-Gi-Oh! Days. So, I'm going to let Ryan go ahead and explain how the deck works. And apologize in advance, we are using a cell phone camera to record this. The camera that I had, that was lent to me by another God Squad member, the battery died. He did not loan me the charger. I apologize.
Dr. Myuu is a fairly basic leader. His effect is that once per turn, I can play a battle card from my hand for free if it has 5,000 or less power and is a machine mutant. He awakens by drawing 2 and flipping them over. And all that really changes when he awakens is that when he attacks, I draw a card, and that 5,000 power limit on what he plays becomes 10,000. Now, doesn't sound amazing, but one good thing about it is it lets me play cards like this for free. Dr. Myuu under baby's control.
Okay, so he's not your normal family doctor.
When I play it, I look at the top 3 cards of my deck, choose a machine mutant or card with baby in its name from them, and add it to my hand. The reason it says a card with baby in its name is because I can add this, Baby Subdual.
Your time on this planet is over!
I only run 1 because there's a lot of barrier out there. But I choose an opponent's, if my leader is a machine mutant, I choose an opponent's battle card with 1,500 or less power, make it mine, and give it 5,000 extra power until end of turn. And it's a wonderful card if I need to get some little things out of the way that are usually blockers so that I can keep swinging at face. Because I like to swing at the face with this deck. Then we have the first of what, if you play Yu-Gi-Oh! You'll know as gadgets, Mega Cannon Sigma Nat. He's 5,000, so he's a free play before I awaken. And if my leader is Dr. Myuu, he searches my deck for Mega Cannon Sigma Bizu.
It is quite clear why Dr. Myuu wants them so bad.
Who is 10,000, therefore is a free play once he's awakened. And if my leader is Dr. Myuu, I search my deck when I play him for Mega Cannon Sigma Ribbit. Who is still a free play, and when I play him, I search my deck for Commander Nezzy.
Interesting.
Who, coming back to the beginning, searches for Nat when I play him.
So why do you play the numbers that you play?
I play 3 of everything above Nat because Nat is really the only one I need to draw. Once I play Nat, I search Bizu, then search Ribbit, then search Nezzy, so I don't really need to draw them. I want to draw Nat very much so, but the rest I don't feel is necessary for me to draw. Nezzy's effect is that I can Union Absorb him with Ribbit and Bizu from my hand or field to create Triple Union Super Sigma.
Sigma Force Cannon! Silence! Alright men, ready? Sigma Force Cannon, unite!
Ribbit.
Super Sigma is a 20,000 double strike, and has an activate main that says I can send him to the drop area to draw 2 cards and choose an opponent's battle card to lose 10,000 power for the turn. When a card loses power in that way, if it hits 0, it dies. Then we have Hidden Ability General Rildo.
That was an incredible strategy.
I run 4 of him. He doesn't really do a lot on his own. He's a 3-drop, 15,000 power that has Union Absorb to grab all of the gadgets from before, from my drop area, put them under him, and then turn into General Evolved Hyper Metarildo. Metarildo's, all he does is when he comes out, he drops the power of every battle card my opponent has by 10,000. And if they hit 0, they die. And when he swings, with Double Strike, I can choose a battle card with 10,000 or less power and KO it.
It's impossible for a race like yours to survive against our mutant civilization.
I only run 3 because I am of the opinion that if you can get it out of your deck, you don't necessarily need to have that many of them. But I flip-flopped over whether I should run these a lot, and I run them because I do feel I need some sort of large-scale removal. Then there's Planet M2, the field card for Dr. Myuu. When you play it, if your leader is Dr. Myuu, you draw a card. And when it has Activate Battle, I can switch it to Rest Mode and choose one of my opponent's battle cards or leader card to lose 5,000 power for the duration of that battle. This can be used to kill things I'm not even swinging at if they have less than 5,000 power left. 5,000 or less, I should say. And it is a great card for this deck, so it lets me get over things I really shouldn't, like letting a 5,000 1-drop get over a 10,000 power leader without having to combo at all. Speaking of combos, my super combo is Handy Giru. Not really much different than the original set of super combos, except he is a machine mutant, and therefore Dr. Myuu under Baby's control can search him out. Next, we have Fearless Pan. Because of the way this deck works, I end up with usually a lot of cards in play very quickly. So I can drop Fearless Pan on turn 3 to give them all 5,000 power and Double Strike to go for game in a very aggressive turn. This is an amazing card. I love it in any deck that can swarm. I love seeing more of it. And even after that, it's a barrier it has barrier and it's a blocker. So it'll help protect if things go wrong. On the subject of blockers, we have Bodyguard Legic. This is just a wonderful card, especially if you're running red. If your opponent has battle cards and you don't, he comes out completely for free as a 15k blocker. Just not hard to say say much more about it, it's just generally a good thing. And other good things for red are Saiyan Kaba. Saiyan Kaba is wonderful for a deck that really wants to awaken like Myuu does. He's 5k, 1-drop, but when he swings, I take a damage to my life, and he gains 10,000 power and Double Strike for that attack. For the turn, actually, sorry. And the last card I run in my deck is Kaba's Awakening. I haven't had a lot of chance to test this out, it really just came in, but it is a wonderful card to help me get over things with guys boosted by Pan who normally wouldn't have the power to get over a 15k awakened leader.
What did we take out for that?
Well, what we took out for that was we took out the Vados Awakening Negate, which we took out because I tend to have a problem that I usually use all of my energy on my turn up until turn 4. From turn 4 on, I usually have an energy or so spare that I could use for things like that, but also by turn 4 on, I probably don't need that kind of stuff anymore, because that's probably over by then.
So what about the side deck? What do we got going?
Well, the side deck is a little more... It's a little more of the strange kind of things that I like to run, but in general, we got some obvious things like Miraculous Comeback Ultimate Gohan. Some people might say I should be running this in the main deck, but I run in the side deck because the way this deck draws and adds cards to hand so aggressively, it's really hard to get down to 4, so it's something I have to be trying to do at the detriment of anything else I do in my deck. But this is a great card for decks that are heavy in blockers like Great Apes. So it always stays on my side and it always comes in if I play against decks like that. Then we have 3 copies of the Perfect Rildo. I don't main deck this because most of the decks I play against aren't going to need as aggressively for me to get to things like Form Perfected. I mean, it's a nice card, but if the only decks I'd play that against are ones that have a lot of really powerful blockers. Or just in general, really powerful cards they can get a lot of out at one go. Then we have some cards that are kind of obvious for any type of deck to side in most cases. We have Haru Haru, the Attacker Majin, and Shun Shun, the Protector Majin. Haru Haru is a critical 15k that when you play it, you can burn 2 cards off your deck, and as a second auto, when you play it, if your opponent's leader is green or yellow, you choose 4 energy and switch them to active mode. That is an amazing effect, but obviously your opponent's leader has to be green or yellow to do that, so it's better in the side because you don't get to know that ahead of time. Shun Shun is a 15k blocker who has the 2 autos. One of them is obviously like the first one, burn 2 cards off your deck when you play it. And the second auto is when it's attacked, if your opponent's leader is blue or red, it gains 15,000 power for the duration of the turn. So this is going to stand in the way of just about anything they can throw at it if they're running that color. Just generally good cards to side against a lot of decks. And the last thing in the side is the Vados assistances that I took out of the main deck. Because against any deck that can get me to turn 4 later, it's a very good card to have hold of just to buy myself more time, keep my stuff alive a little longer, so that I can build up the board I need to try panning again and again and again. That's everything I've gotten here.
So what about matchups? How does the deck do with matchups?
Well, I do have a lot of trouble against blockers. I try to remedy that with my side deck and the like, but decks like Great Apes, it's just really hard to get through all of that with a deck that likes to swarm a lot of little tiny guys. But other than that, I do have some trouble with decks like, what's the thing called? It's the Ultra Instinct Sun Goku decks, because there's a lot of good combo cards in this deck, and Ultra Instinct just says, well, that's nice to have, too bad you can't use them. And so it's really hard to deal with that deck with this deck unless I can, again, side things like Vados Assistance, just say, and no.
So what about easy matchups?
There's not a particular matchup that's particularly easy. It's generally an easy way to win with this deck is to go against anything that doesn't run very quickly. The Ultra Instinct deck doesn't run too quickly, so if I can rush hard enough, I can get through to it. But a lot of times, if the deck's not very quick, I'm probably going to beat their face in before they can get anything moving. It's also good to play against other swarm decks, just because 9 times out of 10, I can swarm better than they can. So I don't really have to worry about their swarm. I just keep going for face and just race them down to death. And usually win that.
Alright, any closing statements for anybody who tries to play this deck?
Well, remember that you're running you've got a leader that wants to play as many cards as you can, so you really want to start with as many cheap cards as possible, and don't worry about holding combo pieces because you're going to get them anyway. And other than that, be afraid of things like Topo or what's his name? I can't remember his name right now. Jiren, yeah. That's the one I can remember his name off the top of my head. Jiren will just eat your deck alive, so have some answer to that when he comes out.
Alright, any other closing statements?
Nothing I can think of at the moment. That's about all I got.
Alright guys, so there you have it, Dr. Myuu and his machine mutants. Honestly, this is pretty aggressive for a mono red deck. It takes a little bit to build up, but once you get everything going, it gets really out of hand, especially with all the free things that he can play, and the fact that most of them are so low in energy cost, it's just really rough. If he gets out the Brildo 5-drop, really fucks you over, but like he said, Great Apes, all the barrier stuff, and even other decks that have barrier kind of get in the way of that, but Great Apes do it especially well because everything has barrier. But if you guys enjoyed this deck profile, you like the deck, try it out for yourself, hit that like button down below for us. We appreciate all the support. Let us know what you think of the deck, any suggestions you may have to make it a little bit better, or any concerns you might have about why certain cards were played over others. But with that, we're going to go ahead and get the freak out of here, though, and we'll see you guys in the next video.